The 28-point peace plan, announced last week under Trump's direction, has once again been criticized by many mainstream media outlets and independent analysts as favoring Russia. Since the beginning of Trump's second term, his efforts to end the Russia-Ukraine war have been consistently viewed by some as being pro-Russia. This perception exists because the Trump administration's primary goal is to end the war, rather than to ensure a Ukrainian victory. So they tend to lean towards pressuring Ukraine into making concessions and thus meeting Russia's key demands. There are several main reasons the Trump administration is so eager to end the war. First and most importantly, they want to reduce the America's burden in the European theater, as domestic fatigue over supporting Ukraine has grown. Many within the Republican Party strongly oppose providing unlimited aid to Ukraine. They argue that the U.S. should instead prioritize other issues such as immigration and inflation. Although Trump has demanded that Europe contribute more financially to Ukraine, the U.S. is still responsible for providing critical lethal weapons, missiles, radar systems, military training, intelligence operations, and other military capabilities. The cost of these things far exceeds the financial aid. Secondly, the U.S. needs to shift its focus from Ukraine to Asia and the Middle East. America cannot simultaneously manage three major strategic fronts: Europe, the Russia-Ukraine war; the Middle East, Iran, Israel, and the Red Sea tensions; and East Asia, China, Taiwan, and the South China Sea. The Pentagon and major think tanks have long believed that East Asia will be the most important interest of U.S. foreign policy for the next 20 years. The fastest way to free up military resources for East Asia is to end the Russia-Ukraine war as quickly as possible. Third, the U.S. fears that a total collapse of Russia could create even greater global risks, because nuclear weapons could become uncontrolled. Since the end of the Cold War, the U.S. believed that Russia can be weakened, but it must not be pushed to collapse. In ceasefire negotiations, the U.S. would therefore consider giving Russia a result it can sell domestically, avoiding a situation where Moscow feels it has nothing to lose. Finally, the Trump administration itself prefers a transactional diplomacy. For Trump's team, the logic is not Ukraine must win, but rather that the U.S. must stop spending money, end the war quickly, and secure some strategic benefits. This transactional approach means trading concessions to Russia for a ceasefire and focusing on costs and outcomes rather than moral considerations. Therefore, while the U.S. may appear to be leaning toward Russia, its core objective is not to help Russia, but to end the war as quickly as possible, reduce expenses, and redirect strategic resources to more important priorities. A side effect of this strategy, however, is that ceasefire terms and other proposals tend to look closer to Russia's demands.